Welcome to the Please Suck Less podcast, a podcast where I voice my opinions and views about things that piss me off and how we can make the world suck just a little bit less. Thanks for listening. So it's no shock if I tell you that people are leaving their jobs, and they do exit interviews. And to me, outside of the fire service in general, doing an exit interview is kind of a joke, because they want you to think that when they do their exit interview that they're actually going to make change based on the reasonings that you give for why people leave. But we know this doesn't happen because they never change, as in the company, that they don't change, so people keep leaving. So it's just a bunch of BS, I guess, to make the administration and the management feel good about themselves that they actually gave an exit interview. But in reality, let's break it down. Why are people leaving their job? Well, you do have people that just job hop. They're looking for more money, so they're going to hop from job to job to job. But you do have the people that get into a business or a line of work that they truly like, but they're treated like shit by management, by the administration, by the board of directors, whatever. They constantly ask you to work more and more hours because they don't have the staffing to make up for the holes that they have in the schedule. So they keep asking you to work additional hours and this and that. And then, we'll pay you an incentive. I mean, some places they'll give overtime, but some places they say they'll give you an incentive, maybe 1 times your salary or whatever, not necessarily calling it overtime, but it's something that the manager has to put into your paycheck, and you'll find that, we were going to try to give you the incentive, but it came down from up above that, the budget's tight, or we don't have the money in this fiscal year, yet they already said that they were going to give you the incentive. So basically they lied to you, and then they withheld money from you. So I guess, long story short, they stole from you. Not only that, let's take a look at the people that have worked for, X number of years, and you get an anniversary date. I know in the fire department, they were always 1 or 2 years behind giving you your anniversary recognition. You'd get something for 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so forth. You'd get a pin that you could put on your uniform and a certificate, congratulating you for your time. And they were always 2 years behind. What does that say about management and how they feel about the employees? I mean, to me, if you look at it, it was like they don't give a crap about you. They just show up to work, shut up and be happy that you have a job. But they don't give you the praise that you deserve, or the recognition that you deserve. And I know it's those minor things, but those little things add up to so much where people just finally just say, screw it, I'm out of here. I'll go somewhere else and, work for another organization that might take care of their people a little bit better. And that's what it all comes down to. Take care of your people. We say it 1,000 times, in the fire service, and talking about being leaders and all these leadership podcasts you hear. It's like, take care of your people. You got to take care of your people. It's a great thing to say, but the fact of the matter is that, are you doing it? If you're not doing it, then it's just empty words and you're lying to me. I'd rather you just not say anything instead of promising things and then not delivering them. So, it is all those little things that add up to the big things. I was talking to somebody not too long ago who worked in the healthcare industry, and they said that they were promised an incentive for coming in on a weekend on a night shift. So they're supposed to get this night differential. They were supposed to get an incentive for working at the last minute, even though they had their hours. And this person was part-time, so they weren't eligible for overtime unless they went over that 40 hours per week, but they weren't supposed to do that. They were promised all this stuff, and then it was all verbal on the phone. They come up, they show up to work, they do that extra shift. They basically bailed the company out because they didn't have anybody that could work in that particular position. And when their paycheck came around, the incentive wasn't on there. So to me, that's lying and thievery at the same time. And when that person said, hey, You didn't put the incentive on there. Like I said earlier when we started this show, oh, well, the budget doesn't have that, or the higher ups wouldn't allow me to do that. So, do you think that that person is ever going to do a favor for the company after that, after the company just basically took a crap on them? And then they wonder why it's hard to get people to come to the position when they find out that people they crap on their employees. In the fire service, I would much rather a chief officer come up and pat me on the back and say, "Man, you're a hell of a fireman," or "That was a great job," or "You guys did an awesome job." That goes so far in the fire service than you giving me a certificate at the end of the year saying that you got this unit citation or whatever. It's that instant, "Hey, we recognize that you just did a good job. Great job doing that. Tell your guys," or "I'm going to tell your guys," or whatever. They don't do that. It's not about the awards. It's more about being recognized for the job that you do. And then they just constantly get these managers that feel like, "Well, I got my promotion. I'm not going to talk to the people anymore. I'm not going to come out and tell them what a good job they did. I might, as a battalion chief, maybe I won't go out and do my rounds, or maybe, I got other things going on today." If you say you're so busy that you can't go out and visit with your people, you need to hang up your coat and retire, because the people come first. It's the first rule in leadership. Take care of your people. They say it in the military. We say it in the fire department, in the police department. It needs to be that way in the corporate world. Take care of your people, because they are the ones that are out front representing your company. If you treat your people like shit, how do you think that they're going to present your company to the public? I've actually heard people that are coming on to a job, and when they are alone with other employees, they'll lean over and tell them, "You don't want to work here," or "Run," or "Go find another job. This place is terrible. They don't take care of you." What does that say about your organization? I mean, it's to the point now where you got these people job hopping, trying to find better working conditions or better work environment. I would much rather you be honest with me and tell me, "Hey, we don't have the money in the budget to do incentive," but be honest, be upfront. And you have to ask the big question: why do you need people to work extra hours to begin with? Well, the answer is that you don't have people in the job to work the hours because they're either leaving or you're not hiring. You're expecting your employees to work extra hours to fill the gaps for the people you don't have. I would tell people that were doctors and nurses and things like that, or not necessarily doctors, but some nurses, we would talk, and I'm like, if they get into a bind and you call, or they call you to come in and work, and you always say yes, you're not fixing the problem. Sure, maybe you're making your wallet look a little bit bigger, but at the end of the day, you have a big paycheck, but they're still not taking care of the entire problem. When you go on vacation and they know you're on vacation, do they still call you to ask if you could come in? I mean, what kind of crap is that? They're not respecting your time. Your time is everybody's as important as everybody else's time. If you keep saying that you'll work this extra hours, you'll work this shift, you'll work that shift, you're constantly pulling them out of the hole. There's zero reason for them to hire extra people. But I tell you what, the moment that everybody sticks together and says, "No, we're not working these extra shifts," what are they going to do? They're going to call agency, like in the medical field, agency people that are going to be making double. You got to pay for that. If they don't have enough money to pay you the incentive to work that shift, how do they have the extra money to pay for agency people? In the fire department, they're constantly saying our overtime budget's outrageous, our overtime budget's outrageous. Hire more people. Now, I know it's a double-edged sword right now because we're having a hard time attracting people to the job. We need to figure that out too. Why aren't people coming to the job? What aren't we doing to recruit and then retain the people? But at the end of the day, if you go out of your way to fill the holes in in whatever business that you work for, because they're not hiring, you're not fixing the problem's not going to get fixed. You're fixing the short-term problem for them. And like I said, yeah, maybe your paycheck will look good at the end of the pay period, but you're going to get burned out and you're not going to want to do it anymore. And the moment you stop doing it, they're going to call and call and call, and they're going to try to make you feel bad for not, working. So I know I'm rambling, but it's these things that just irritate me, that they don't recognize how good that they have it with the employees that they have. They're not hiring additional employees to fix the gaps or to plug the gaps, and then they don't recognize the employees for the good job that you do. So I'm telling you, management, administration, board of directors, whoever the hell runs the company, get down in the trenches, go meet your people, tell them they're doing a good job, tell them you appreciate them, put a crowbar in your wallet and buy the floor lunch. A little goes a long way, and we don't need thousands and thousands of dollars to show us how much you like us. Spring for lunch once a month, I mean, for crying out loud, that goes a long way to show the people that you truly care about them. Because if you're not doing that, then at the end of the day, you're the problem. You're the reason why the place sucks. So again, suck less, do better, take care of your people, acknowledge the good work that they do. I'm out of here. Thanks for listening.